I wanted Nintendo 64 for Christmas, and I was told by my parents, oh yeah, we'll get you Nintendo for Christmas. And so I was bragging about it. Oh, I'm gonna get N64 for Christmas. And then Christmas comes and all of my friends get N64. And I got the Super Nintendo. And then I went to school the next day and everyone was talking about their N64s and I don't want to be embarrassed. So I lied and said that I got N64 too. And they were asking me, oh, what kind of games did you play? What kind of games? Oh, yeah, that's the normal ones. And it was this whole web of lies until finally it was exposed when some friends came over and saw that I only had a Super Nintendo. Anyway, the point is, maybe that's the reason why I've always hated video games.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and I woke up to Matt Walsh getting dragged on Twitter by... I saw he was trending, so I kind of just assumed that, he said something, that offended the wokies. One thing I'll say about Matt, 100%, the guy knows how to get a reaction. He knows how to trend. The whole team at Daily Wire really does. I got to give him credit where credit is due. Matt Walsh, Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro... I'm the one making videos about them, not the other way around. So I'll eat my humble pie there. And, I definitely want to, be fair about my position in things. I woke up, I saw Matt Walsh trending. It's like, what? And it looks like he's getting absolutely dragged by the video game community and fellow, commentators, YouTubers and stuff. And I'm going to defend him a little bit and say this before I get into what people seem to have a problem with. I think even if it's in a way we don't love or if it's in a cringy way, I think it is by far still a net positive that Matt Walsh is talking about wokeness in video games. And, because Matt Walsh talked about it, Elon Musk retweeted it. I did an interview with Mark Kern from Blizzard and Cabrutus. Elon Musk retweeted that. This is good. Millions and millions of people who may not know about, wokeness in video games get to find out because Matt Walsh talked about it. And that is the net of the argument. But we'll get into a little bit of the fun here because it is, Matt Walsh knows how to, he can be smug, smarmy. I don't agree with everything he's ever said, but he's definitely right about a lot of things. I think He's very, very wrong about pop culture and video games in general. He doesn't understand. He's always been very dismissive about them. Movies, anime, pop culture. He's even written an article about how video games cause real world bad behavior and like literally linked to Craig Anderson's quote unquote studies, which were widely debunked. So, Matt Walsh can talk about a lot of things, but when he talks about video games, people are a little curious. And I'm going to get into what he said here after. I just want to announce, by the way, Coffee Brand Coffee, my coffee company, has launched Jeremy's Club. Think of it like Kohl's Cash or a rewards program. And you can get a bunch of free stuff just by signing up today. So if you're one of my coffee drinkers, tea or cocoa drinkers, make sure you go sign up for this because you get a ton of free stuff. So you just get a little tab now that says Jeremy's Club, and you collect beans instead of points. I call them beans because, coffee. But, quite simply, it's an awesome way to get free stuff. The more you buy, the more you save. You get 100 points for signing up, 200 on your first order. You get 500 to celebrate the launch. So as long as you sign up, you get 500 beans. And then if you sign up for our Roaster's Choice program, you get another 500. On your birthday, you get 500. It's awesome. We've been working on this for a while. So if you're one of my customers or you're a new customer at Coffee Brand Coffee, go check out Jeremy's Club and check out our Roaster's Choice program. It is the best premium coffee club on the internet, and it's 50% off your first month. So, check that out for sure. Now, let's get to this. So D-Day Cobra of Geeks and Gamers tweeted, Matt Walsh is the first person to highlight wokeness in the video game industry, according to Matt Walsh.
Is that the video game industry, without a lot of fanfare, has transformed into a tool of both propaganda and surveillance.
Has he heard of Gamergate? Now, there are lots of channels, not just my own, that talk about wokeness in video games. That is arguably how I cut my teeth in this game. Matt Walsh also links one of my videos in his video. So I'm not offended by this. I do think it's a lot of people have been talking about wokeness in video games, like for years. But in his world, I'm trying to defend Matt here. Matt, if you click this and you try to respond to me, all right, I'm trying to help. Okay. Yes, a lot of people talk about wokeness in Hollywood and wokeness in ads. And I hope when he says, wokeness in video games hasn't been getting a lot of fanfare, it's just because he's talking about his own world, because Daily Wire hasn't covered it.
It's an effective way to indoctrinate children precisely because it hasn't received much attention, and also because
it has received lots of attention, Matt.
Children spend, many of them, hundreds of hours a year, and that might be an undercount, a severe undercount, with this kind of content. So it should get a lot of our attention. And now finally that attention is here.
Thanks to Matt Walsh. All right, come on. Okay, Matt, come on, dog. I mean, look, come on, man. I have 1 million subscribers. I've been talking about wokeness in video games, and there have been bigger channels before me that talked about it for a long time. But other than that, other than maybe having a little bit too big of a head or a blind spot, everything Matt says is correct. Okay.
And it's yet another reason to keep these games as far away from your children as possible.
That I strongly disagree with. So another point of contention is that Matt's solution here, is to not play video games. But does he hold that same thing true when he talks about chocolate bars? He wants you to buy their chocolate bars, but I thought the solution to avoiding woke candy would be not buying candy bars, not buying from Hershey's, right? Because they're bad. Matt Walsh believes video games are bad. He's written a whole article about it. Now, I don't know if he has publicly backed off this position, and this is an older article from a few years ago. But this is Matt Walsh. Stop pretending, Call of Duty games are harmless just because you like playing them. And in this article, he literally cites Craig Anderson as his, quote, studies. And by the way, that's the researchers whose studies in the Supreme Court said they were rejected by every court to consider them. So, I mean, this is a guy that, he's citing a moron, okay? Obviously, I would say Fatherless Homes probably has a far more devastating effect on young men. Other types of stuff like that. I mean, a lot of people played Halo, but I don't see a lot of people out there blasting aliens. I grew up playing I spent every waking hour once I discovered gaming playing Quake 2, Duke, Doom, Quake 3 Arena came out, and that was Quake 3 Arena for me was the first. I have to buy a whole new computer for a new game. Now it's pretty regular, right? Unreal Tournament Edition, Turok. All these games these are the games that I grew up on PC gaming anyway, playing, and I've never in my life wanted to go hunt dinosaurs or blast aliens or Call of Duty, which I still play. All right, I get it. The game sucks. Everyone says it sucks, but everyone still plays it. All right, I play it when I get time. It's cathartic. Okay, I don't go outside and do the same thing. Nobody does because there's no real link. Every real scientist on the planet has debunked that. But anyway.
And if you do that, games journalists, literally the lowest form of journalists on the planet.
Love it. Big agree, Matt Walsh.
Will accuse you of harassment. And that's exactly how you'll know that you're doing the right thing. Now let's get to our 5 headlines.
So outside of I think what people have an issue with is that, he says here, because he has no idea what he's talking about, and his answer is for everyone to walk away from video games, which is the dumbest take ever. Take back video games from these freaks. That's the answer. Him and many others at Daily Wire have downplayed entertainment for years. So, I mean, basically all of my peers are dunking on him. And my point, people are saying Matt has neither said nor implied that he's the first person to talk about it. Well, he did. It has garnered a lot of attention. He did imply, like, finally, Matt Walsh is talking about it so we can get real. But I still think it's a good thing. Now, he's getting dragged, obviously. So Matt Walsh getting on the video games thing when there's political capital to be made, despite his years-long history of pissing and moaning about violent video games. This really isn't the guy you need to be trusting right now. So the gaming community, not loving it. Then you see even this person who's like, maybe an SJW, I'm not totally sure. I think so. They say, first off, Matt Walsh hates video games and he thinks men shouldn't play them. That's true, and he has said that. So it's a little odd to see him commenting on a medium he hates. Second, there are next to no games lecturing people with propaganda. That's not a thing. Elon Musk is a poser, I swear. Well, there are a lot of things in, the space that lectures politics, right? I think it's a little bit a funny take to be like, well, finally, I'm talking about George G. Prime writes, Matt Walsh complaining about wokeness in video games is like a gay man complaining about implants. I do think, it says, however, games are for everyone, which is why conservatives shouldn't dismiss the arts as mere childish entertainment. That's the point. I think, you have Sophia Narwitz, who is, around during the first Gamergate. Hard to give an F about Gamergate 2 when people on one side are flocking towards cry-bully grievance-mongering game journals and their industry friends, and on the other side flocking towards Matt Walsh, Elon Musk, the $1 Million Bus guy, and James Lindsay. I don't know who the $1 Million Bus guy is. Who's the $1 Million Bus guy? I'm not really sure. I think part of what, gamers do really well and what we need to get back to doing is gatekeeping. We didn't gatekeep good enough and we let all these SJW weirdos in the space. And I think this article that he wrote, I don't think Matt would deny that he doesn't like video games and he has an outdated take on it, that we should just abandon video games. I disagree with that greatly. But I do still think it's a net positive that he's talking about it, and this is why. Because Elon Musk retweets it. And then that tweet gets viewed by 12.4 million people. Okay? Now, I don't know how many people watched the video, but I would suspect with 12 million impressions, at least 500,000 to a million, maybe even 2 million watched the video. If 5,000 of them never even knew about wokeness in video games, this is a W. You see Carl Benjamin, welcome to Gamergate, Mr. Musk. Everything in here. They even made Oregon Trail woke, which, yes, they did. I think, dunking on Matt for his takes on pop culture is fine because, he did write this article. He did cite a debunked source about, video games causing you to do things IRL. But, ultimately, I think it's a good thing. Oh, this is a funny video. This is a good thing that more people are talking about it. So even if it came across smug, even if he's grifting off of it, okay? Even if he's just grifting off of it, there are probably a lot of normies that listen to Matt Walsh that are getting informed about it, and I think that's good. I disagree that we need to abandon video games. So we'll say that. Make sure you sign up for my coffee club and join Roaster's Choice. Our Roaster's Choice program is 50% off the first month, and sign up for Jeremy's Club where you get all sorts of rewards and all sorts of free stuff. As you buy more, you save more. It's cool. It's a cool little program. Link in the description. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.